A big victory for Attorney General Ken Paxton today. Senators voting mostly along party lines to acquit him on all impeachment charges. Paxton released a statement moments after the decision stating, quote, "The truth prevailed," adding, "Now that this shameful process is over, my work to defend our constitutional rights will prevail." Today's vote was one for the history books that will define the future of Texas politics. Ryan Chandler joins us from the Texas Capitol with the latest.
A historic trial at the Texas Capitol, ending by placing us exactly where we were before it began. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton will return to his post after the jury returned an acquittal on all charges they considered. Paxton's defense team secured not just the 10 votes they needed to avoid conviction, but a pure majority of senators. Most of the articles failing 14 to 16, with only 2 Republicans voting to convict: Kelly Hancock of North Texas and Robert Nichols of Jacksonville. After the jury delivered their vindication of Paxton, the presiding judge, Dan Patrick, delivered a scathing rebuke of the House managers who brought the charges.
The Speaker and his team rammed through the first impeachment of a statewide official in Texas in over 100 years, while paying no attention to the precedent that the House set in every other impeachment.
Meanwhile, Democrats worry that outside influence and political pressure tilted the scales for Paxton.
There was an enormous amount of pressure being put on some of my colleagues, whether it was on social media or they were getting a lot of text messages. I know because I was sitting next to some of them, and they just couldn't believe how much people were applying pressure. So it's unfortunate, but like I said, this is the new normal now in the Republican Party.
We've lowered the bar. We've lowered the bar of what's acceptable conduct for public officials in the state of Texas.
Now, this is not the end of Ken Paxton's legal drama. He still faces a criminal trial in Harris County for federal felony indictments relating to previous securities fraud charges. New developments in that coming next month. Until then, he's expected to return to the office very soon. At the Texas Capitol, I'm Ryan Chandler. Back to you.
And as Ryan mentioned, immediately following Paxton's acquittal, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who served as the judge during this trial, slammed the House of Representatives for voting to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate and called on the Texas Constitution to change. Patrick read a 10-minute statement just before the chamber adjourned to, quote, "set the full record straight for the future," he said. He accused the House managers of rushing the process and ignoring precedent by not having a full trial in the House before it was sent to the Senate and not allowing Paxton and his team to cross-examine witnesses. Patrick called for lawmakers to amend the Texas Constitution in the next regular session, requiring those things, and to give House members a minimum of 2 weeks to review evidence before a vote.
Millions of taxpayer dollars have been wasted on this impeachment. 31 senators and a large Senate staff that made this trial possible have put their family life, their jobs, their business on hold for the last 3 months after already being here from January to June.
Patrick says he will call for an audit of the money the House spent on the investigation. In a statement, Speaker of the House Dade Phelan fired back at the Lieutenant Governor, writing, "I find it deeply concerning that after weeks of claiming he would preside over the trial in an impartial and honest manner, Lieutenant Governor Patrick would conclude by confessing his bias and placing his contempt for the People's House on full display." Meanwhile, Phelan's own party is calling for new leadership in the House. The chair of the state Republican Party wrote, quote, "Speaker Dade Phelan and his leadership team should be embarrassed for putting Texas through the time and expense of this political sham of an impeachment." The head of the state Democratic Party weighed in on Paxton's acquittal as well, stating it's clear that the fix was in from the beginning and that as long as Republicans control our government, Republican elected officials won't face consequences for ethical or criminal offenses. After the verdict was announced, Governor Greg Abbott released a statement saying that the jury has spoken. Attorney General Ken Paxton received a fair trial as required by the Texas Constitution. Attorney General Paxton, he says, has done an outstanding job representing Texas, especially pushing back against the Biden administration. I look forward to continuing to work with him to secure the border and protect Texas from federal overreach. And for a look at how each senator voted in the trial of Ken Paxton, we have an article for you to check out. KXAN's Christopher Adams put together interactive graphs throughout this morning highlighting where the votes landed for each of the 16 articles. Just head over to KXAN.com and click on this story.